it's almost September, I can't tell time. So I read a lot of books in July and August, a lot for me anyway, and I would usually make a video on each and every one of them, but I don't have the time or the energy. So welcome to a behind the scenes look at why every booktuber does this. Pure fucking laziness. Sorry. In this video, I'm gonna talk about Self-Portrait with Boy by Rachel Lyons. Let's talk about Love by Claire Kahn. Gork the Teenage Dragon by Gabe Hudson. Sleeping Giants, the first book in the Themis Files series by Sylvain Neuvel, which I think I left on a fucking plane. Georgia Peaches, Another Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown. If you're not interested in any of those books, the back button is like right over my head. If you are and you like my face, welcome to Shiva's Book Shaming Corner. God, I'm just like on a streak of terrible books lately. Just somebody please end my suffering. So without further ado, here we go. Self-Portrait with Boy. This book is cursed and needs to get out of my fucking house. I should have been paid to read this. Rachel, if you're listening, you can put my $26 in the mail at any time. In my experience, sometimes you hate things more if you originally liked them and then they betray you. The first half of this book is gripping. The main character is a 20-something amateur photographer, Lou Ryle, living in New York City in the early 90s. She's poor, she's a bit misanthropic, and she's hungry for fame and artistic validation. One day while she's working on a self-portrait, she just so happens to take a photograph of herself at the exact second the son of her upstairs neighbors falls off the roof past her window to his death. And so begins our story as Lou struggles to reconcile her artistic ambitions with her burgeoning crush on the dead kid's mom. It's uplifting. SP with B hooks you with this gruesome premise. It very much feels like a ghost story. You start out sort of empathizing with Lou, and then you realize that she's a horrible narcissistic monster, and you start to gleefully anticipate her comeuppance, which never happens. Never happens. Lou is in no way ever fucking punished for what she's done, in no small part because she's a goddamn sociopath. She's so self-obsessed and convinced that her perspective is the only one that's valid that she can't even understand that she's done anything wrong, even when somebody kills themselves at her. Lou Ryle is a soulless fucking bitch, and I hate her, and reading about her makes me physically ill. Someone get this godforsaken book out of my life before snakes begin physically manifesting in my home. Okay, let's talk about love, if we must. God, I want to like this book so bad. I tried. I really did. Honestly, I'm glad this book exists. I'm glad that it exists for someone who's not me, but I didn't like it, and it doesn't represent how I experience asexuality pretty much at all. And with the number of available books on that topic being as few as they are, it ultimately just makes me feel more alienated and sad. I'm sure this is someone's favorite book and that it represents at least one person's experience of asexuality, but it played into so many things I'm tired of seeing. Sexuality as a plot, asexual characters finding the one person on planet Earth they're magically sexually attracted to, a girl's whole life being transformed as a result or in conjunction with them finding a man. I really did try. I really did try to like this book, but I don't at all, and looking at it makes me sad. Okay, Mr. Lover Fiend, snarls Fribby, her voice laden with sarcasm. Tell me this. So when Ronsita came to visit you in your dream last night? Yeah. What was she wearing? Nothing, I say. She was naked. Her nipples were real perky and hard. Don't read this book! Don't read this book! What the? Gabe! What the fuck? Gabriel! Why do dragons have nipples? Let's move on to Sleeping Giants. I don't have anything to do with my hands for this one. Sleeping Giants is a decent book. I feel is totally hamstrung by the style of the narrative. The entire book is formatted as audio logs between a science team conducted by a mysterious benefactor who's ultimately pretty much the main character, and good. Very good. He's great. I really wish he had a name that I could call him other than Mysterious Benefactor, but he's fantastic. But the thing with audio logs is that nothing can be shown, everything has to be told. Not that it can't be shown, but Sleeping Giants is all tell, no show. That's one of the reasons why everyone's characterization feels really one-dimensional and pretty stale. It's hard to connect with characters when their personalities aren't communicated by action, but rather them and other people telling you who they are. Not that it's impossible, just that this book doesn't do a very good job of it in any instance but one. Our interviewer, Mysterious Benefactor, is characterized very clearly, both by what he says and how he behaves around people. Part of it is that he's established as mysterious and secretive up front, which immediately breeds intrigue and invites the reader to investigate how he conducts himself. He also has a very distinct personality and style of speech, which most of the other characters don't really. Other people tell you that they do, but in practice they all kind of sound the same. Also, some characters, like Rose, for example, initially tell you things about themselves, like that she's generally not very good with people and doesn't actively seek out their company, and then are contradicted by the narrative. Not because these characters have changed over time so much as the narrative just says they're not like that, and they never were. There's a lot of telling you who people are and what they've done in the past tense, and not a lot of things happening in the present with you there to observe, which creates a really shallow narrative that's difficult to connect with, and that I found pretty boring. Which is too bad, because the world building is really, really interesting. Like, damn, there are so many good, interesting alien designs in here, like aliens that are actually alien. What a concept. I don't think I'm gonna move forward with the next book in the series, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. But this book, I didn't hate it. Hate is an exaggeration, but I didn't like it. Why do I keep reading YA? Why? Why do I do it? A few nice things before I throw this book on the bonfire. I am very glad that books like this now exist. The very existence of this book makes me happy. Really do not like YA, generally speaking, but I do think that as a genre, it is diversifying. If not in spirit, then at least in content, faster than any other book genre I could name. I'm glad they're writing shitty YA about lesbians now. Somebody should. If I had discovered this book at a more formative age, I might have really liked it. That said, God, I don't like it. But I'm not sure that's the book's fault. I think it's mostly that I think a lot of central YA tropes are stupid and they're dumb. And they're stupid and they're dumb. And I hate them. I've never really been able to connect with narratives where the main character does dumb, bad shit for totally unrelatable reasons. People do dumb, bad shit all the time for very understandable and simple reasons. They're scared, or they're uncomfortable, or they're greedy, or they're lazy, or they're worried everything won't work out. So they, for example, lead someone they love on a wild, convoluted adventure through the magical land of bullshit while constructing more and more heinous and elaborate lies until they're inevitably caught and shamed and probably endure consequences that are much worse than what they were initially fearing. For example. That's relatable. I think every reader has at least one personal example of something they did for dumb, bad reasons that was dumb and or bad, and that had consequences for them and the people they cared about. But Georgia Peaches is obsessed, like many YA books, with exonerating the bad behavior of the protagonist. So it gives her a bad reason to lie, multiple opportunities to stop lying, multiple assurances that her shitty behavior is understandable and justified, and provides a lazily constructed one-dimensional late-stage antagonist who can be the real bad guy so that Jo can lie her ass off and eat it too. Wait, it would be so easy to fix this book by just having Jo be scared to come out to Mary Carlson for understandable reasons, or have her explain the situation up front to Mary Carlson and have MC push back, or to do none of those things but then have to honestly own up to what she did and be rightfully punished without introducing an evil lesbian for her to fight to get Mary Carlson back. Just a thought. This book is pulpy nonsense, to be honest. I don't regret reading it, but Do I regret reading it? Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my wrap up. I got my first subscriber on Patreon this month. I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much for becoming my closest and only friend. Nobody will ever have what we have together. Which is this outro, I guess. I know I haven't posted a lot lately. July was a lot. July was a lot. I'll be talking more about that on my Patreon if you're interested, and if you're not, that makes two of us. I have 2 scripts written for my next few videos, so I'll be working on those over the next few weeks. If you want to be alerted when I upload a new video, I'd say subscribe, but I'm not even sure that works, so I guess just check back later. If you would also like to become my closest and only friend, you can support me on Patreon. The link is down in the doobly-doo. And if you like my work, you can always come to my house and take these horrible books away, please!